Happy October and spooky season. I am so excited to be doing a reading for Venus in Libra, which transited October 13th, and the sort of final week of Libra season. We will enter Scorpio season on October 23rd. As always, I will be pulling a 3-card spread, a maiden, mother, and crone, inspired by the triple-faced goddess, Persephone, Demeter, and Hecate. You can catch me doing petitions to Persephone this weekend at Loaves and Witches and at the Andersonville Creepy Market. Come and check me out. There's so much information on my profile. As always, I will spread my cards into a spiral and we'll get started. If you haven't had a reading with me in person, I always talk about how I like to draw my cards in a spiral because we're very familiar with the circle of life, right? It's very masculine, it's finite, it begins and it ends and it's over. Whereas I believe the universe is a more feminine and queer thing that's always folding in on itself and creating new life. So we draw our potential from that infinite shape. I'll draw all 3 cards and then we'll talk about them. All right. Maiden. Wheel of Fortune. Possibly one of the most difficult cards in the deck to interpret. The Wheel of Fortune has everything to do with where you've been and where you're going. The best way to read this card is to sense where you are in your fortune. Do you feel like you have more luck to gain, or do you feel like you're at the top of your game? If you're at the top of your game, you might want to prepare a little bit for not a fall, but a change, right? And how you're doing things, a tactics shift to stay on top. If you feel like you could use a little bit more luck in your life, then hopefully that luck is coming. The Wheel of Fortune can represent an almost lottery-sized change in circumstances. It truly is the unknowable. I often associate the wheel also with a new judgment system, a new system of divination. The Wheel of Fortune reminds me a lot of the Dharma chakra in Buddhism, which is the wheel of law. So it represents the 8-fold path of the Buddha, right? And it represents the 4 noble truths of how to transcend suffering and the 3 poisons at the center of human experience, right? These 3 things are always quantified, and together they represent the whole of life and the attempt to transcend or to attain Buddhahood. The Wheel of Fortune is largely circumstantial. So to look at the root, which is our change in fortune, we're going to also want to look at the mother. How is that change in fortune embodied in the world? And here we have the Ace of Staffs. Now I'm using Courtney Alexander's Des to Onyx tarot deck. And here we have an image that looks a lot like the Big Bang. There's also this giant weapon being forged in the center of this cosmic eruption, right? This vitality. The Ace of Staffs is the initial spark, that first spark that keeps us going. This is potentiality, this is vastness, this is the beginning of your idea before it takes off into something tangible and real. For the Crone card, or the Wisdom, we have Mama Coin. Mama Coin is the Queen of Pentacles in this deck, represents our ability to build a fertile garden out of our resources for ourselves, our friends, and our family. Each of the face cards is actually an element inside of an element. So the Queen of Pentacles, or Mama Coin, is the watery part of earth. I take this to mean rather poetically that means she is fertile soil itself, whereas the King of Pentacles might be the mantle of the earth that supports the soil, but she is the space where the garden is firmly planted. Each of these cards actually has the face of a Black celebrity or pop culture icon, and in this case, it's a mix of Laverne Cox and Sojourner Truth. They both have a lot of Taurian and Gemini and Capricorn placements. Their message is grounded, but it's also able to reach the masses. One of the quotes here from Laverne Cox is, "Quality is my principle and qualified is my attitude." Mama Coin reminds us most of all to stay in touch with the earth's rhythms, to dance in the tune and the flow of life, to reap abundance when it's time to do so, and also do the hard work of sowing and actually creating your garden when it's time to do that too. I also think with No Kings coming up this weekend, that is probably us planting a new seed, getting our spark back, starting a little revolution, and an abrupt change in fortune on a macrocosm sense. Internally, you can also achieve this by being committed to a change in your own reality for the better, for what you know you deserve, for equal rights, and for justice in your own sphere. Start something new. Don't be afraid to speak up. Conflict is not abuse. Mama Coin, plant your seeds with your community, dig deep into fertile soil, and find the resources that you need. That is your maiden, your mother, and your crone. If I had to sum it up, I would say be ready for change. And that makes sense because Pluto has just stationed direct in Aquarius. Pluto in Aquarius is one of those planets that's going to be teaching us brand new things every day for the next 19 years. We are going to have to be able to follow the flow no matter what, no matter where it leads. Our dreams deserve to be planted wherever we are. Our world is changing. There's peace in some places and agitation in others. This fire that is in all of us will lead to great change. I know these are uncertain times. They have been for a long time. But I hope that every day you are growing more certain about your purpose, your pleasure, and your place in this world. As always, manifest wisely and wildly. If you're in Chicago, I hope to see you in person this weekend.